Alright, hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to another video. So, in today's video, I'm going to be doing the Sticks and Stones challenge, showing you guys my process for completing it, what I did, that kind of stuff. Now, it's worth noting that it is quite a weird challenge. It's taken me a few attempts, to put it lightly. Definitely not something that I thought would take as long as it did, and there are a few reasons that I'll get into, as I'm sure anybody who has attempted the challenge will probably know. So one of the basics of the Sticks and Stones challenge is that you just take in a melee weapon. Obviously you get one by default, and you only want to use that melee weapon or a combat axe or melee macchiato. Basically it's melee only, the long and short of it. And there are some weird things with this particular run that I didn't think. So I'll be honest, just before loading up this recording, I had another version of this run where about a minute in, I got a headshot on a zombie and it counted as a critical kill. Now, because of that, I probably wouldn't have been able to do anything with the run, so I just ended it. Also, I wasn't sure if nukes actually worked in the run, because when I had attempted Sticks and Stones before, I did everything right, but I picked up a nuke a couple times and it failed. But I must have done something different, because yeah, this one worked. Now, I read on a Reddit thread that basically one of the easy solves for this issue is to not hit a Mangler's arm cannon by accident. And not to accidentally headshot a Mangler or an Abomination and crit kill it. So the best way that you can do things like that is just by kind of proning and hitting their feet. You'll see what my method is here pretty soon, but I'm just basically going to avoid everything and start beelining it for melee macchiato as soon as possible, because around 4 onwards the knife becomes a 2-shot unless you've upgraded it, which obviously at this point I can't do. We now have enough scrap to do it, but obviously we can't really do anything with that. And yeah, so I'm going to give some advice. I start the run off pretty bad. I go down, funny enough, at one point, which is pretty rare, like, given. And I make a huge recovery, manage to pull back the run very, very quickly. And yeah, it was a very close call. It was a very dangerous moment. Also, I kind of train in the wrong area. So I train in the wrong area. Basically, you want to go to the bowling alley. That is like the #1 spot. And around this time, I get my knife upgraded to green. It was a pretty big start. I'm a little bit of another tip as well. And just so you guys know, I wouldn't use the knife on the zombies at certain stages. You can see I've kind of come in with the wrong loadout. At the end of the video, I'm going to provide my loadout and the augments I would take for anybody interested. So at the end of the video, you'll be able to watch all of that I took in, or that I would take in next time to make the run even easier. But the knife is kind of, I would save it for bosses, essentially. Like, you're only really upgrading it. And there's my first down, by the way. You're only upgrading it so that you can avoid having to use combat axes against bosses. But I would advise just using the combat axe to essentially kill every zombie. And I'm going to show you how I managed to do it in this run. And I honestly think it made my whole progress so much easier. So we're coming up to also the me just kind of grabbing some scrap. I would always come into this church and farm some of these crystals just to get as much scrap as possible. You can see I'm just going to start holding out a little bit. The knife is only 2-shotting at this point, so I am in desperate need of melee macchiato and also ideally a pack-a-punch. And you can see it's just kind of all about grinding away, just hitting them as we go, and just hoping that nothing sneaks a really bad hit in, because at this point I am playing with no lives left. I'm essentially just, if I go down, I'm dead because of that really annoying spider. Yeah, so I got enough points now. There's melee macchiato. Easy little power up here. And honestly, this makes the run 10 times easier. Melee macchiato is now going to make my melee a one-shot, at least for the time being. Obviously not permanently. And you can see the damage that we're going to do here is going to be really, really nice. I think my biggest trouble in this run was the spiders. But I am going to also showcase the Amalgamation, or the Abomination even, and the Manglers, like how I take care of them, how I'd recommend doing it. And you can see that I'm grinding away up here. I'm training and whatnot. I wouldn't recommend this. I'd actually just go down to the bowling alley, which I think in a minute I'm going to do. And there's Blue Rarity. Had to hit him with an inspect, you know what I mean? It's just what you gotta do. But I do want to farm here a little bit just to get the points to go pack a punch. So you're going to see me just kind of getting some points here and there, picking up some power-ups and whatnot. I'm not sure if there's like confusion about whether or not you can take power-ups. It seems like you can. I think a lot of it is just to do with what's killing the zombies. I could also have just gotten very lucky, but this is just the run that I managed to get it on. So okay, so we're gonna head down to the bowling alley now, and it's a pretty simple area to grind in. Again, if I was to do this over, I would take a combat axe immediately instead of a semtex. I don't actually know why I brought a semtex in. It was pretty dumb, and it's gonna make the whole process about 10 times easier, because combat axes in this game, for zombies especially, are actually really useful for clearing out up to like sort of 8 zombies at a time. Even though I picked up a nuke at the beginning of the game, I didn't want to risk it again, so I never end up picking it up after the fact. I'm going to get another parasite round now. These are also really easy with the combat axe. They're a little bit dangerous with just a knife. Honestly, I again wouldn't recommend even doing these rounds necessarily with a knife. I would just take a combat axe and start doing it. You see just grooving in the background. But this is the first Mangler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up to it, and I'm going to kill the zombie that's trying to kill me here, and I'm just going to knife its knees to avoid accidentally hitting the cannon and possibly killing any zombies near me. And then we just proceed with the round as normal, as if nothing even really happened. And we can just kind of, you know, again do our thing, just kill everything as quick as possible. We are trying to progress all the way up to, I think it's like round 25 for this challenge, so it's pretty brutal not having jug or quick revive or anything, just only taking melee macchiato. Again, this is just how I've been doing it and attempting it, and it's been working pretty well for me. Again, once I pick up the combat axe, which you just saw on the floor there for a second, and I got another nuke, you see me kind of freak out there with my mouse because I thought the run was over. And I think I'm in a Discord call with some of the people that I, stream with. You guys, if you've ever popped into one of my streams, you'll know who I'm on about. And I remember saying that I think I just killed the run, but I'm going to play it out just to see, because I was super tempted just to end the run right there because I got the nuke. Because I've heard that sometimes they can cause the challenge to bug out and not work. Sometimes they do. Also, I popped Frenzied Guard there. I don't know if I got lucky because none of the zombies were in yet. I kind of fat-fingered the field upgrade button. And now we start the combat axe run. This is where I essentially swap to combat axe only and just focus on getting combat axe kills, because it is the most simple thing. One big tip I want to give is, if you are playing Liberty Falls on this and you see a Mangler, even if you're playing Terminus, just go for the Mangler as quick as possible and take the path around it to avoid its line of sight, so that if it does try and charge up, it will only hit you, ideally, and not the other zombies. So you want to just try and focus on getting the Manglers and Abominations out of the game, basically as soon as possible. Okay, and we're going to keep knifing through them. The first Abomination is coming up here. It is actually incredibly difficult, the Abomination, with just knife only. I don't really know if there's like a quicker way of doing this. If you guys know one, leave one in the comments, because I'd love to try it. But yeah, this, you can see here, look, I'm just training and then just lining them up, throwing the combat axe, and it is so simple. It makes the challenge about 10 times easier than it was just with a knife. If I was trying to do this knife only, I probably would have like failed 10 times over by now. And we can see the Abomination actually kind of creeping up in the background just there. So there you go, there it is. So this is the first round where I'm like, okay, I'm going to try the knife. I'm trying to avoid its head, so I'm sticking towards the back and realizing that's not going to work. This is actually a section that I wanted to leave completely normal and not sped up, so that you can see what it's like when I'm actually struggling really bad. We almost kill it in just this section alone, and you can see how good the knife is here against the Abomination. But the problem is we're on a fresh round, so I'm getting swarmed with no quick res to get myself back up again, and I'm about to run out of any plates that I would have had available, and I can't seem to get in. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how I survived that section. One of the things about melee macchiato that I love is that it gives you health back when you kill enemies with a melee. At least the augment that I use does. I think it's an augment. It might just be default. I don't even remember at this point. And honestly, it saves me so many times this run. I realize that I can kind of just brute force my way into like fighting a horde because I can get health back, which is kind of risky, but you know, we made it work. And I'm still trying to fight the Abomination here. I'm hoping, and by doing this, I actually kind of realize what this strat is to kill these things really easy, which is actually just to, if you want to beat an Abomination or you want to beat a Mangler, just more so the Abomination than the Mangler, but you just want to fight the zombies, clear out the horde around it, and then you'll be fine. Yeah, the Abomination's dead. So then moving on to the rest of the round and the rounds preceding it, most of it's going to be sped up because you've sort of seen the process at this point. You just saw there was a Mangler, there you go. I didn't kneecap him, but I hit him on the opposite side of where the cannon was. And now I'm just going to go back to doing what I was doing before, staying away from the zombies as much as possible, and just throwing a combat axe back and forth at them, and taking out like 3 or 4 at a time. And then I realized that this is also really good against the spiders. The vermin, they are super easy to get rid of. Yeah, they take like no time at all. And I'm also going to get some additional combat axes as we go as well, which is really, really nice, because the more that we have, the easier that these runs are going to become. The spiders gave me the most trouble in the entire run. Being honest, like one of them downed me and then the rest of them almost took me out. And you can see I'm just kind of trying to train everything at the moment, and I'm going back and forth, just picking them off kind of maybe 2 at a time. You can see there was 7 just in one combat axe, which is really nice. There was 4 again. So you can see how effective the combat axe is on this particular run. And I think this is like super important for you to know about, because I don't think there's much point going in knife only at this current stage. Okay, so again, coming into round 19, we are super close to being finished off with the entire run. You can kind of see how weirdly like slow the game looks now that you're not in fast motion anymore. But yeah, it's definitely a weird one. Yeah, you can clear out like hordes really easy with this. It's not particularly difficult either. And I'm gonna just start trying to poke at the Abomination, hoping to try and like get it down. But obviously, you know, the insta-kill is going to come in clutch, but fighting these things can be really difficult. So what I just opt into doing, because I realize I'm not going to do a lot of damage, is just clearing the zombie horde around it as easy as possible. And as quick as possible, so that I don't have any like issues. I don't know if the Abomination killing them actually matters. It seems like it killed a bunch of them in my run, and I never had an issue with it, but I could have just got very lucky. But yeah, like this whole section, you want to just focus on killing the zombies around it more than anything, and yeah, you want to just get them out as quick as possible. It's really not too hard with the zombies, like when you're just trying to like clear them with a combat axe, because you're saving the Abomination until last, meaning that you get all the free time to quickly just kill it. And here you can also see I've now got 3 combat axes, which honestly is a game changer at this point. Mostly because, you know, the 3 is really important. And there's the nuke drop, by the way. I was so concerned that the nuke was going to like end the run here. I was also really worried I was going to headshot the thing. But I don't, it's dead, and then I dodge around the nuke, and we continue on with the run as normal. So this is round 20. We're 5 rounds away now from ending the whole thing, and to be fair, it's not been too bad. Kind of going to breeze past some of the Mangler kills, because you guys should know how to do that by now. Again, just refer to earlier in the video, but now with 3 combat axes, I can clear basically up to 20 zombies, or the whole round pretty much, really quick. There's tier 3 on the knife. This is going to make clearing Manglers and Abominations much easier. And we can just keep diving around. Honestly, there's not much to Sticks and Stones. It's, I think, just a really particular calling card. I think it has its quirks. I don't know if it's like, because I've attempted this like 3 or 4 times, and I've kind of done the same thing every run. This one I think was just either perfected or I got very lucky. But just making sure to not let the Mangler's like arm cannon blow up and hurt any of the zombies is a really good idea. Using combat axes at range is really good, and then staying in the bowling alley so that cars or anything like that can't explode. So that if a Mangler hits a car and it blows up, it won't kill a zombie. You know, if an Abomination runs into a car, it's not going to blow up the car and kill the zombies. I think all of that stuff is like super key to keeping the run alive. So I'd definitely run into the bowling alley just to kind of play the safest game you can. You know, while you're here. I almost go down here. I'm going to leave this in the video. I realize I need to pick up a quick res just in case I go down. And yeah, it almost goes horribly wrong. But I'm kind of lucky that it didn't. And then the Abomination is going to keep chasing me in a second here. And I'm going to have to run past it yet again and get back to the bowling alley, because I realize I'm outside with a bunch of cars that can blow up, and that could end my run again. Yeah, so I would honestly just say to you guys, you know, just make sure you focus up on, you know, not letting the Abominations blow anything up. Don't let the Mangler arm cannons blow anything up. Take combat axes like with you on your initial loadout, because it's going to make your game so much easier. Also, this is how good the combat axes are. I'm kind of clearing the Abomination here really easy with the combat axes. So honestly, I think a combat axe only run of this particular challenge would be really effective, aside from Manglers. Because, I mean, you can't upgrade combat axes any more than what they already are. So you can just spend the points that you're going to earn on getting a better knife. And that is what I would do, honestly. Combat axes just seem super strong for this particular challenge. And yeah, I thought I'd do a whole run, just areas sped up so that you guys can see what I'm doing each round. You know, minimal cuts and stuff like that. And we're now approaching the very last round. You can see that, again, combat axe only, essentially, against the zombies. Really simple. Saw the Mangler here, already dead. Keep throwing the combat axes. And then I'm going to get the, I think I pick up the chopper gunner. Yeah, there you go. I pick up the chopper gunner because I'm thinking if I exfil, then I'm going to need it. But I remembered that I kind of want to be careful with that, because I don't want to accidentally like trigger any issues. But if you follow everything I've just done, you'll see here on screen, I'm about to get it pop. I honestly I really thought it wasn't going to work. Like, I was super convinced it wasn't going to work, because it doesn't pop up for a little bit here. So I'm kind of just waiting. I'm getting ready to like end the run and have to re-record the whole thing. And then as I'm kind of giving up, there it goes. There's Sticks and Stones. So yeah, that's the calling card. It's honestly not too bad. Hope you guys enjoyed the video though. Hope you learned something. You know, subscribe, like, do all that YouTube stuff. Let's see you guys in the next video. Take it easy. Alright, so it's future me doing a bit of a class guide. So making it really simple. Doesn't matter what gun you put on. You can do anything. It doesn't really matter. I put on the knife because I think the knife is the best for this particular challenge, at least. You can probably do baseball bat, but I would just take the knife. For field upgrade, I would take Frenzied Guard. Again, I mean, I have just prestige to 9th, so I can't put any of this on, but throw Frenzied Guard on. Then you want to run a combat axe, the very last thing you unlock at level 53, and then a decoy. These things are really easy. For augments, what I would suggest is, for melee macchiato, is to get the vampiric extraction. You could do espresso, that's fine as well, to get the faster melee. Though personally, I think the healing of the health is a lot better, because you're not going to be taking jug when you're doing the challenge, so this will be a lot better. You could also do triple shot to hit multiple enemies at once, but I do think just overall Vampiric is like the safest option. And then also you want to take something like Hidden Impact, so that could be really good. Or if you really wanted to, probably Stick and Move, because Stick and Move's backpedal speed is a lot better. And yeah, I think honestly this is probably the easiest to run. I feel like any of these minor augments are perfectly fine, and I'll just take the Vampiric Extraction. You can't take anything else, so that is the class, that's what I would run, and yeah.